there! I have just taken kind of a whirlwind trip, more on the current state of my life. In a few videos from now, I'm not quite organized enough to tell you. I just had some changes going on in my personal life, which has led to me taking an extended trip to see my family for the past week and a half. And during this time, I was able to travel and teach. And to do this, I just packed up all of my basic supplies, all my essentials into this backpack. I also put all of my clothing, all of my other personal items into a carry-on suitcase. I am curious to know if it would be possible for me to downsize everything, personal and teaching stuff, to fit all into this backpack, but that's for another video to see if I can maybe minimize it even further. I'm very, very curious. But I had to unpack my bag anyway, so I figured I would just share with you what's in my travel teaching bag. So quite simply, I had a lot of electronics. So big note, make sure you have ample time to go through security. I was running late and it was actually a little bit dramatic going onto my departing plane because I did not account for TSA pulling my bag aside and having to look through. My bag looked interesting because of the large amount of electronics and chargers and all kinds of stuff in my bag. So just, if you're gonna fly with all of this kind of stuff with you, don't be like me. Plan for ample time to get through security. Yes. All right, now let's get into what was in my bag. First and foremost, my teaching computer. This is my computer. I use it for everything. This has been my go-to computer since I started in December of 2018, and I used it for a few years of graduate school prior to this. It is an Asus 2014. I got it refurbished, and it was a good deal for the time that I bought it, but I do not recommend this model for people looking for a new computer now because I do worry that soon it might not have enough horsepower, so to speak, to use the newer teaching platforms. I'm actually looking to put my computer Black Beauty out to retirement, out to pasture, because I would like to use this more as a secondary computer instead of my day-to-day computer, but that's for another video and for another time. So I brought my laptop, of course. I also brought this baggie, which contained a whole mess of stuff, and you can see, do you see what I see? Oh, this is what the TSA lady thought was so funny. She pulled up this interesting bag of stuff and she was like, what is this? Rainbow Slinkies. Made it into my essential. In this little pouch, I used it to organize all my cables and my electronics. So I had, of course, my laptop charging cable. Don't forget that, that's really important. I also had my charging cables for my lights. I'll explain these in just a moment. I also had my headset. This is my Jabra UC Voice. I've talked about this in another video that I will link below. It's wonderful, very compact, one ear. I love it. I also have my external camera. I like this because it allows my video to be a lot more clear, a lot more high quality, and my lighting is better with this. So if you can see some before and after pictures you might have seen on Instagram or other social media teachers talking about external cameras, they do improve your lighting. And when I'm travel teaching, I'm the most worried about my lighting, so I brought this along. I had space. I also brought my wireless mouse to plug in and then use. If you needed to go absolutely bare bones, I guess you could go without your external camera if you have an internal camera, and you could maybe go without your wireless mouse. These really add to my comfort and peace of mind while I'm teaching, and I taught for like a week and a half, so I brought these with me. In the other half of my pouch, I had space for some other essentials, like I have my painter's tape. I used this to tape up my background on the wall without damaging it. I also had some regular tape, some whiteboard markers, and some pens. So all that miscellaneous stuff fit really nice and well in this pouch. I got this pouch on Amazon a while ago. I'll try to find the name and exact kind that it was. It was fairly inexpensive. I like it. It's very portable to move from bag to bag, and it just has a lot of nice pockets and sections. So that was that. The other devices I brought with me were these lights. These are Buerer therapy lights, and they have this part that you can use to put them this way, where it sticks in the back this way, or this way. They are meant to be therapy lights for seasonal affect disorder, or if you have any other kind of medical need where you need a nice light. The quality of light is a particular kind of light. I'm not an expert. My friend Karen recommended these, and she uses these daily in her teaching. And I just got these as a used box deal because I saw them for cheap, and I'm like, hey, I've seen these, maybe I'll try them. I like them because they pack nice and flat, and I can have two sources going from either side. I will say to use them, you need to plug in this. You need two plugs, you need two outlets for these specifically. So you might need to use some cables while you're there. For me, this is more of a, I'm gonna be somewhere for a fairly long period of time and I need really good lighting, I'm gonna film, and I'm gonna teach. These are your lights. In previous trips, I have used this, but I don't love it. It's pretty bulky. This, it makes you think you have pretty good lighting, but in my experience, the lighting is meh. I had space to put this in my carry-on, so I brought this in my suitcase, but to be honest, these were so good that I probably would just leave this at home. If you have this, use it. If you're driving in a car and you have space, go ahead and throw it in your car, but if you're looking for a light to buy, these ones are a lot better. I'm going to ask Karen more specifics about these lights. I really enjoyed these also because I noticed less eye strain after using these. I typically am at my computer for a long period of time, like 4 to 5 hours, and I usually use a tree light, which is all 5 heads pointing directly in my face, and I'm kind of over that. I kind of noticing some headaches from that, so I might be tweaking my setup to implement these in day-to-day teaching. I also have my handy dandy alphabet book. Inside this alphabet book, I have the letters, big and small, and the nice little examples. I love this. I had space, so I brought it. You could argue that the whiteboard could take the place of this entirely, and that's true. I had space for both my whiteboard and my book, so I brought both. I also brought this folio. This folio is great because it packs nice and flat. It just went right in my backpack, gave it more structure, and also helped protect my laptop a bit. And then inside, I have many, many things. I also like this because once you get to the place where you are going, you can just open it up nice and big and it sits on the table so you can actually go in and grab. So I'm going to give you a quick tour. I have trial class red and blue props in here. I also have peach and lemon, toys we like, music, and I also have some pack flat puppets in here. They go right nice in there. And I have my felt food rewards that I put in a baggie, and some finger puppets. I used both of these as a reward, as well as some blank paper. So that all fits really nicely into this folio. I think that they do have these on Amazon. I got mine in a 2-pack, and I used one for personal stuff, and I kind of took one and I used it for teaching props now. I use this daily just to have things at my disposal, and that makes it easy for me to adjust quickly to travel teaching, because if I'm using the same stuff and it's in the same order as when I'm teaching at home, I feel a lot more comfortable. So this is my tip to you. If you could put a lot of your go-to stuff into something that you are using daily, this way it won't be such a transition for you to teach and travel. Pro tip. For my background, I kept it nice and simple. Noticing a theme with my teaching, I love felt. I have this felt pennant. I got it from Target a while ago. I also have letters of my name and hearts on it. I'll put a picture of it. And because of the nature of this, I'm able to like take the 2 strings and just tape them up without damaging the wall a lot or having to take up a whole bunch of space. I also put up this on the wall, so I have a space to put my reward. Now, if you aren't able to put a ton of stuff up on your wall like this, maybe you aren't able to put something up for your reward, as long as your reward is visible throughout class, what I do if I'm not putting it up on the wall is I just make it really, really obvious, and I'll pull it up to the camera and I'll count like, oh, you get 1 cookie, and I add it to the pile, and that way it's just really obvious that they're accumulating a reward, and that's what it is. As a bonus, I brought Uni. I had to film some videos while I was traveling, and I wanted Uni to be a part of that, so I brought him and I put him in my backpack. I had just enough room to squeeze him in at the end. Now, the space where I taught was my childhood home. I communicated with my parents ahead of time, so I knew the space that I was going to be teaching in. They also helped set up an Ethernet cable down from the router, because for the space where I was teaching in, the Wi-Fi would have been problematic and maybe would have given me a teacher IT. If you're not sure of your internet situation before you go, I recommend that you have someone then do a speed test so you know what you're working with. Also know about how to use your mobile hotspot. I have personally only ever taught in family members' homes or in vacation rentals that are like houses where you can access the router. I have never taught in a hotel. If you've taught in a hotel, let me know how that went for you. If I was teaching in a hotel, I really would only teach a few classes, and I would try to make sure that that I had a backup plan in case the internet in the hotel wasn't working. So if you've taught somewhere else other than your house, you have some great travel teaching tips, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to know how you've taught. If you have any tips for me, like you really don't need that for teaching, or oh, you should try this, leave those in the comments below as well. I would love to know. I am going to be a little bit nomadic for the next couple of months. I'm actually going to be moving my entire setup into a closet. That's for another video. Yeah, I'm probably going to take you guys along with me by just filming spurts and then narrating over it later, because when your life is kind of in transition, you aren't really able to do a lot of organized videos. So I'm putting this out for you guys before I move. Hope you're enjoying that, and then once I've gotten settled, I'll share with you some of the footage and setup and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this What's in My Travel Teaching Bag. Thank you so much for watching, and happy teaching.